get a better understanding of the evolving China-Africa partnership, this is China-Africa Talk.
Burundi has brought its rich cultural heritage to China. From the renowned royal drums of Burundi to forums on peace building, investment, and modernization, a Burundian Cultural Week in Beijing has given Chinese audiences a closer look at a country that has undergone profound transformation in recent decades. As Burundi works towards its long-term development goals, it is also looking into China's experience in poverty reduction, modernization, and industrial development. Welcome to China-Africa Talk. I'm Gao Junya. In this episode, we speak with Alfred Burimaso, first Counsellor at the Embassy of Burundi in China, and Elias Sentamba, Professor of Political Science at the University of Burundi. They share Burundi's journey from conflict to peace, its development ambitions, and the growing partnership between Burundi and China. I'll go to Alfred first because now we're having this Burundi Cultural Week here in China. Can you just tell us a bit more about this Cultural Week? Like, under what background has it been held? And what key activities can we expect?
Yes, thank you very much for this question. We have organized the Culture Week under unique circumstances. This year, as you well know, 2026 has been a year designated as a year of people-to-people exchange between China and Africa. And also, this is the year we're celebrating 70 years of diplomatic relations between the People's Republic of China and the African continent. You know, the first country to establish diplomatic relations with China was Egypt in 1956. So now, from 56 to now, is 70 years. And most importantly also, Burundi is now assuring the presidency of the African Union. So we said this is a historic moment. We've got to organize it in a way that is unique. That's why we thought, let's organize a series of activities and do a culture week and show about Burundi, Burundi's culture, Burundi's economy, and Burundi's history, where we came from, where we are, and where we are going. And of course, celebrate also, we are celebrating the 64th anniversary of Burundi's independence. So during this week, we have 4 major events. The first one that was held on 28, the drums of Burundi, the sacred drums of Burundi. For people to know the Burundi, they have to see the drum, the historical significance. Professor will touch about it. And we also had to talk about the difficulties Burundi has had in the history, how the Burundi found solution, what medication the Burundi take to get healed, what we did yesterday, and found this mode of consensus of governing ourselves and include each other. That was the second activity. The third one, we had to organize an economic forum. People, if we have already established peace, what is next is to see what can we do, where can we invest, what tourism can we do, what are the opportunities, what are the sectors, what are the priorities of the Burundi government. That will be the third activity. And the fourth one, of course, is get together, celebrate with our Chinese friends the 64th anniversary of Burundi's independence. So that's the context under which we organize this Culture Week in Beijing.
And this Cultural Week actually has brought Professor Elias with us. So this is your first time to China?
Yes, the first time, yes.
How do you find it here so far?
Wonderful.
You've been enjoying yourself?
Yes, but that's why, by the way, I'm learning some Chinese words. And it is wonderful for me.
And I've also enjoying myself about this Cultural Week is because your delegation has brought the royal drums here to China, and they put on a wonderful performance. So can you just tell us a bit more about the royal drums, maybe from Burundi? Like, it was actually inscribed in as one of the world's intangible heritage, right?
You know, drums in Burundi have very, very deep signification. Because in pre-colonial monarchy, the first monarch was there significantly because a drum was institutionalized. I explain why. You know, according to a myth, one of many myths, our first king was coming from the actual Tanzania. And when he came, he was installed, he was a seat on a small, a small mountain, if I could say like this. Yeah. And they put
the cow, skin cow.
Skin cows, skin cow, and a
snake.
A snake, then put tapes on the
skin cow.
The skin cow. Then the sound was like the one drums are doing now. And it was the first time that the drums were institutionalized, and it was the beginning of the drums. Yeah. And then drums are connected with the traditional monarchy, then with the power, the political power, simply. That's why today drums have significance as the symbol of the political power.
And Alfred, maybe you can also help us to add a bit on the dancing, you know, the messages from their dancing.
Yes, currently when they are performing, the dancing, the movements, all the signals, it has also another meaning, adding to what the political power. Most of the dance would symbolize sometimes the victory after they have won, or the time when they are celebrating the Umuganuro, when they have a major event. So all the movements they perform have sometimes like the warriors and putting the shield and the spears and the jump as if they have won over an enemy. So that's the warrior dance. Yes, wow. Yes, that's a very deep significance for the drums, and they are unique for Burundi. No other nation has institutionalized such drumming and dancing. In Africa, every country has drums, smaller drums, and the way of beating them. But for Burundi, it's uniquely Burundian. That style of dancing and jumping. Some might jump up to 2 meters high, and the people would say, "How can somebody do like something like that?" It's so much energy in it, and
power.
The power and the energy people have demonstrate when they are beating the drum, and the excitement it brings. Yes, you could feel in the room last time how much energy it brought when people are beating the Burundian drum. Yes.
And Professor Elias, actually you also gave the Chinese audiences here a very interesting lecture about the consociational democracy model of Burundi. You can see I try very hard to pronounce it because it's not that familiar with us. Can you just tell us a bit more on this democracy model?
Yes, but before I deal with the consociative democracy, let me first show you how Burundi has been progressively gone to consociative democracy. Because first in the traditional era, pre-colonial era, Burundi had one ethnic group comprising many clans. In Kirundi they are called imiryango in Kirundi. For instance, we could ask someone, "Who are you?" He was telling you, "I am from this clan. I am Mohondogo. I am Mohanza. I am this and this." And by the way, the king in his governance used to choose from this Muryango, this one, members of different responsibilities, political responsibilities, military responsibilities, administrative responsibilities, and so on.
Religious also.
Yes, religious also. Then all clans used to participate to all responsibilities, all kinds of responsibilities. That's why in such an era, people used to believe themselves as governors, as citizens, and with one ethnic group. Why? One language, Kirundi. One religion, one religion, worship, believing in Imana. But the problem then, with the Belgian, there was an act of 1925, taking a hierarchical theory for organizing societies. They came and said, Ganwa Tutsi must be high-class ethnic. Hutu and Twa low-class ethnic. But before, someone could be Hutu, could be Tutsi, could be Twa. It didn't have any sense. For instance, one clan could comprise both Hutu and Tutsi, or both Ganwa and Tutsi, and or both Hutu and Twa, both Tutsi and Twa, and so on. Then, to be Hutu, to be Tutsi, didn't say anything for people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this sounds to me, it's like another kind of apartheid, right? Apartheid in South Africa.
It is a kind of that. But the problem is this. People who have did such a section started to believe that they are superior. People who were excluded from that section started to believe that they are inferior. Because of colonial system, of course, they try to divide Hutu Tutsi. For instance, after the independence, the first crisis we had, they killed Rwagasore, the prime minister. And they manipulated people not to accept a Hutu as able to replace the Rwagasore, although they were from the same party. Progressively, we had wars, civil wars, 1605, 1609, 72, 88, 93, and as far as those civil wars were progressively killing people throughout the whole country, ethnicity was there, artificially created. Ethnicity was politically created. Let me then talk about consortial democracy.
Because now we can see it's very hard for you to achieve the current stability and peace, right?
With democracy in 1993, it was a majoritarian democracy. It could not work because ethnicity was there. People were believing themselves not as Burundian, but as Hutu, as Tutsi, as Twa. That's why we had a very, very horrible civil war from 1993 to 2000 with the Arusha Peace Agreement. Then, with the consultative democracy, they say, Burundians, this is our problem. You know, we used to be the same people. See, Hutus have been excluded from the colonialization. Then let us see around the table, with the help, with the mediation of late President Nyerere from Tanzania. After him, Mandela went on, then they put quotas. Hutu, take 60% in the political institutions, National Assembly. Tutsi, 40%. And the Twa, here it is in the National Assembly, Senate, government, and so on.
Power sharing.
Yes,
Power sharing.
Power sharing. For the army, half Hutu, half Tutsi. People used to learn that they are recognizing the last unity they used to live under monarchy, traditional monarchy. Then that's why, for the moment, when you see people throughout the country working together, intermarriages, we can assure you that constitutional democracy has indeed succeeded in Burundi.
Alfred, we can tell from what Professor Elias said, it's not an easy journey for Burundi to become what it is now. We know that actually Burundi has been enjoying steady growth in recent years. Can you share with us some of the key sectors that it's been enjoying fast growth?
Yes, thank you very much again for this question. As you know, Previously, Burundi has spent a lot of energy, time, resources, everything, actually wasted all those energy, time to fighting wars, endless wars. Now peace has been recovered. Burundi is stable, Burundi is secure, and it's open for welcoming investments. It's time now to get the reward for this peace we are now enjoying. All the time, all the energy, all the money, all the focus is on fighting one common enemy we have today, which is poverty. We have His Excellency President Evariste Ndayishimiye, who was always calling everybody that we have wasted enough time, have wasted all what we had. Now we have our country here full of resources, potentially to become a very developed country. Let's now use our hands, use our imagination, use of what we have to produce. And he has put together a vision that Burundi by 2040, it should be a country that is moderately developed. By 2060, it should be a country already counted among the developed nations, that it is possible to be done, that all together we can do it. Now, he said we cannot do everything at once, but let's go step by step, take some priority areas. One, we have to get the country food secure, food security, that's number one. In the agriculture, there are three major areas. Let's get investments for those who can develop good seeds that can yield the higher yielding, and have a machinery to cultivate a lot. And after we have done that, we do food processing for conservation. In that area, we are doing actually very well. With the support of Chinese technicians, we are having some hybrid rice that is yielding 7-8 hectares, while previously it was only 1 or 2 hectares, tons per hectare. Now we have a higher production per hectare. We are now producing more coffee, planting more avocados, planting other plants that could be exported to bring in foreign currency. Actually now we also enjoying for the agricultural products an open market in China. We tariff free. We have now started exporting green coffee to China. Last year, 1,000 tons of green coffee has been brought to China. We are looking forward to bringing in more, because now tariff free, and China now is more of enjoying the Burundi coffee, actually the best coffee. If you have the aroma, we should have brought some here to show. Now, food security is number one. But that sector might not be enough. Our underground has got a lot of natural resources. There is all the gold, all the nickel, all the cobalt, all this. Now we need to dig it out and export, but after doing some initial transformation locally, some refineries, that requires a lot of investments. That's why calling for investments in those mining sector. We have some the leaders of the mining institutions who are here, who came this time to talk to Chinese investments who are interested in those areas to go there. That's the second area of priority for Burundi government. The third one will be build infrastructure, because we cannot move around. We are doing railways, we are doing roads, we are doing all kind of infrastructure for people to be moving around. So once we have put together these, and also this is an era of technology, IT guys. They have to come and they help us to do the technology. That this time we have to use technology in everything. So IT and all IT related infrastructure and techniques are very, very required, and this is also one of the priority areas. This is linked to the education and talent formation, which is part of the three areas that China and Africa have agreed to work on, starting from the meeting that was taking place in Johannesburg. President Xi Jinping announced that we have to cooperate in the modernization of agriculture, and do industrialization, and the formation of talents. These are the three major areas we are working on, which coincides with the priority areas that Burundi have said. Now we are steadily growing in these areas, And fruits have now started being visible from these efforts that led by our president is starting producing the results, yes.
Yeah, actually, I just had a cup of Burundi coffee this morning. I bought it from last year's CIIE. Yes, I enjoyed it. And we've been benefiting from those increased cooperation between China and Africa. And you mentioned a very interesting point. It's about poverty reduction. China actually eradicated absolute poverty back in 2021. I think in 4 decades' time, China lifted over 800 million people out of poverty. And now, it's the world's second largest economy. Of course, Burundi has its own roadmap of becoming a developed economy in 2060. Yes. Can you just share with us what experiences can Burundi draw from China's journey, be it poverty reduction and modernization?
This is known as the Chinese miracle. The Chinese miracle being able to lift 800 million people out of poverty in such a short period of time, 4 decades, 800 million people. It's a miracle. It never happened elsewhere. How did it work? How did it happen? This rural revitalization and poverty reduction in villages have been going across the country, going to in the western to Sichuan, going to the provinces in Hubei, in Hunan, going to Jiangsu, going to Guangdong, going to all the provinces, looking at villages, how villages have been transformed, people being served, and giving them development at the same time preserving their way of living. This is highly inspiring. In Hubei, I spent some time in the village and enjoyed all the traditions there and showing what was used to be the traditional way of doing, what had to be preserved, what modern features had to be introduced without destroying what was there. That is very inspiring. And going to the whole strategy of China, saying, let's see whatever works and be adapted to the local conditions, how people live and be adapted. I think this is an idea. We have had so many leaders or at all levels, Burundi, within the government, within the party, within the ministries, all have had to come here and explain this point over and over again. See what works, try it first, and see how it goes, and then expand. This is really amazing. The results in China are amazing. Now, introduce technology. Somebody is farming in Jiangsu. In his farm, he can just say, my produce here is now ready. People can buy and send online without moving. This is amazing. If we can get to this level of development, people here buy online, everything. Someone is in his house and he's buying some oranges from Shandong, and they are delivered to his door. This is the development of China. And now doing the high quality development, products of high quality, and preserving nature, environment, restoring environment. In Hubei, in areas where they used to do mining and a lot of rivers destroyed and all, now completely restored to its natural way. High quality development, blue development. This is something which is amazing, serving the people. You can tell now that when you meet people in their villages, in the city, people look healthier, happy, the environment's clean, people have got money, the WeChat you can open, the scan. This is really very good. I have enjoyed to see in China, yes.
Yeah, you really know Hubei.
Yes, Hubei, Hunan specifically, because Changsha, this is where China and Africa have designated an area of doing trade. The China-Africa Economic Trade Expo happens there every 2 years. So I travel quite often to Hunan, to Changsha, to Xiaoshan, to all the areas in Hunan province. Yes. Also the other provinces near here, Henan, Hebei. I do travel. In Hebei particularly, we now have a University of Foreign Languages that teaches Kirundi as well. Yes, in Shijiazhuang, the university there is teaching Kirundi. So it's now people in Burundi are learning Kirundi at the Confucius Institute. Here, 2 universities already learning
in
Kirundi.
Burundi.
Yes.
Students are there at Confucius Institute learning Chinese.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is there that where I will learn my keywords in Chinese.
Yes.
Yes, and Alfred, you shared actually some examples like the hybrid rice planted in Burundi. And Elias, you're based in Burundi. I just want you to share your first-hand experience, like what you've witnessed of China-Burundi cooperation in recent years. I know China is actually upgrading the Bujumbura International Airport, right? You came from there.
Yes.
Examples like that.
There are many examples, for instance, even when you go, when they are building some infrastructure, you see Chinese people there. If you go even the industry dealing with the agriculture, fertilizers, for me, we see it is the cooperation between China and Burundi. At university, I have already told about Confucius Institute that teaches Chinese. Cooperation between the Burundi and China is visible in many sectors. Then every Burundian does know that China is very important in the cooperation with their country.
And back to Burundi's role, especially in regional peace. So can you just share a bit more on that? Like after such a long journey, Burundi is being restored to its own stability and peace, and now it's been spreading its role experience to other countries.
I think it is if different partners could help both Burundi and other countries with similar problems. Burundi's model could help other countries like DRC, for instance. Yes.
Yeah, so Burundi now are participating in actually the restoration and peacekeeping missions around many countries. One of them, Somalia, Central African Republic, some police in Darfur, Sudan, as well as some other areas like in Haiti. They did send some police there, and they are appreciated. Wherever they go, they demonstrate such high professionalism in their work that when they leave, the people still say, no, we wanted to stay, but they just help, and then when that local area has stabilized, so they return to Burundi to do their usual job. So they are very professional where they are, and they're highly appreciated whenever they have been serving. Yes.
Yeah. Alfred, you've shared your observations on China's poverty reduction efforts and modernization efforts. I think China can't be what it is now without the leadership of the Communist Party of China, of course. So actually under the leadership of CPC, China has undergone tremendous transformation and development. I just want you to share some of your takeaways from the CPC's governance.
Yeah, the party has also been inviting the leaders from Burundi to share what is at the heart of its governance: serving the people, uplifting the people. That's what said from 1949, the party has established the People's Republic of China. The word is the people, putting central the people. I used to go to the Great Hall of the People here during the CPCCC, the 2 sessions, where people come and gather around its party, and all sections of the population give their views and what they want for the country, and the party listening to all the section of the people and taking into account and actually drawing from what the people want and actually go and do that. That's what all other governing parties should be doing, because sometimes what brings problem is that the governors feel that they are the ones who are served, rather than doing the opposite, serving the people. So I've seen the party doing the service to the people. That is why you can see the country steadily moving, making the 5-year plans, and after every 5 years, having a look at what has been achieved, what remains to be done, and then taking the next 5 years, we could start doing this and this. This is really amazing for when we heard from the history of the party in Shanghai, from the founders of the party, what they wanted to serve the people, which in 1949, fortunately, established the People's Republic of China and really started serving the people. So from the founding, then the principles they wanted to follow, I think this is a way of doing what they want to do, which is the service to the people.
And Professor Elias, you've shared with us the history of Burundi. We know it went through some difficulties, but it conquered the challenges and became what it is now. What messages would you send to the audiences, like to know more of Burundi and to go there to witness by themselves?
What I could say that is this: all Burundians now, they know from where they are coming from. They know from which era, which history, which good history before colonization, bad history, bad events, bad civil wars, from independence to Arusha peace agreements. Now they are beginning to become indeed the nation. And now they are saying themselves not to repeat the past. And for that moment, with the consultative democracy, they are saying we are all Burundians to get development, to get the vision Burundi developed in 2060. Peace as main pillar. That's the message.
Thank you. And what about you, Alfred, to let us know more of your country?
Yes, Burundi has a lot to offer, which is actually not really known. If you do search on the internet, it's not a lot written about Burundi, especially in these countries that speak English. From its rich history and culture and natural environment for tourism. Burundi has got nice climate for tourism. The weather is all the time between 15 to 28, 29. Very nice. Not too hot, not too cold. So the first thing people want to visit, enjoy the natural beauty, please come to Burundi. And then a lot to do with business. The country remains a virgin land. It has never received so much investments in the past because people were afraid, the security not much. But now it's stable, it's secure, it's open, ready, and welcoming investments in all areas. The country is strategically located. Someone called it a balcony of the Congo. You install yourself in Bujumbura on the edge of Lake Tanganyika, do business not only with Burundi. The size of the population is around 13 million. But Burundi is part of the East African community, which is about 300 million people. The whole Western Tanzania, the whole Eastern Congo, you are in Burundi, you do business with those people. So if you have your industries installed in Bujumbura, your customers will expand to the whole region. Burundi has improved the doing business environment. You want to install your company, few hours, you go to the Burundi Development Board in one area, from this door to another door, your company is opened for just like about $20. Burundi has got young people. About all the 60% of Burundian population is less than 35 years old. Very young, very dynamic. You could see how they beat the drums. They have energy to work. And also, not that expensive labor. Human labor is not that expensive as it is now. And that is an invitation to relocate some of the industries as China moves to the high quality development. There are some industries that are relocating. Burundi is the area to go. Those who are the kind of industries go to Burundi, labor, relatively cheap, very productive people, very hardworking people. Burundi is also moving to that pragmatic way of doing things. Do explore how if you can do this business here, it grows and then they expand. So there's all the opportunities that Burundi has got to offer. It's quite a lot from what we have already talked about, the major areas, but as well, the whole country in all areas really needs to welcome more investments. Yes, yes. I would finish by saying that What China has done with this model of developing, this Zhongguo Tirasishiahujuyi, remains really a remarkable way of doing things from the leaders who tell people to experiment first, see how it goes in different areas, and then expand. Really, it has done wonderful things. That's where the whole miracle of China comes from.
Thank you. And I'm sure with your efforts and with this Burundi Cultural Week ongoing, definitely more Chinese investors and Chinese tourists, they will be there in Burundi, especially with this momentum of China-Africa cooperation.
Definitely, we're welcome. Especially, we want you from the media to talk about Burundi. We want people from the academy to know and write about Burundi. We want the whole diplomatic corps in Beijing to know that Burundi now has been transformed. It has been healed. Please welcome to Burundi.
Development requires peace, and peace creates the conditions for development. As China and Africa continue to deepen cooperation, Burundi hopes its story of reconciliation and renewal will attract more tourists, investors, and partners to support its next chapter of growth. That's it for this edition of China-Africa Talk. Subscribe to our program on major podcast platforms and on Substack. Search China-Africa Talk. I'm Gao Junya. Bye for now.